Welcome to Center of Light. Go in my wall, scroll down about that far, and you'll see this video of these four brothers from the Philippines. They play the most ridiculous Beatles renditions. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. Welcome to Center of Light. Hocus Pocus. Focus. There's never nothing going on. There's never nothing going on. And it takes a little bit of focus. And then hocus pocus, suddenly through the silence, the new world appears. Welcome, my beautiful dears. I got a really powerful show for you tonight about focusing, hyper-focusing. And when you get really good at it, you start living there. You don't have to think about doing the it of it all. It just begins to happen naturally. Hello, everyone on Facebook. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Robert Harrison is now jumping in the boat in YouTubeville. Everyone, in the very, very near future, I am going to be shoving? Yeah, shove it. I'm a pretty passionate guy. All my energy to YouTube. If you have not filled out a YouTube form yet, it's easy. Name, age, gender. Wayne says, hello, Keith. Do that. Go subscribe to my channel. It would help me greatly. Hello, Dana. Hello, Link. Mary Jane. Last Dance with Mary Jane. Kelly Curtis. Rena. Wendy. Link. Ginger. Lewis. Stephen George. My brother. Jimmy Mancini. Stephen Stone. Michelle Gent. Ignacio Rubio. Claudia. Nori. Anna. If I missed you, my apologies. You are loved beyond measure regardless. Hello, Danage. The Danester. Lincoln says, hello, brother from another mother. Hey, watch who you calling a mother now. Could be your mom. Welcome to Center of Light, Hocus Pocus. We're going to get down in serious focus. Sometimes we get a little aloof. Whoop, we get in the habit. I get it. So we have to create a new habit. And I really want to push on the message that it's not really about efforting. It's not like, well, I need to create a new habit. It's too hard. It's too hard. I want to do this. And you create a new habit. So don't get out of the habit of being hard. Hello, Gary. Mary Jane laughs. Hello, Cindy. So tonight's Center of Light, Hocus Pocus. We're going to get down, y'all, doing some serious focus. I'm sure you understand why I made the banner blurry. Kind of accentuates the point. As I say, I was going to start doing, I am going to open up with a prayer shortly. We are on an infinite journey to nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Yeah, but I have goals. I get that. But when you become now here, the there you're aspiring for simply, suddenly through the silence, a new world appears. On all levels, this is an absolute truth. What is absolute truth? That which binds, yet frees on all levels. All levels. Let's move on into the presentation with the starting of these prayers. John Wright, I loved your new music, sir. I love your studio. I'm envious, actually. Good for you, bro. One we are. You can repeat it back if you like. I will be doing this. You'll learn it eventually, and then you recite it along with me. One we are. This is called Humanity is Our Life. One we are. We are all one. One family. Only one family. We are all only one family. You, I, he, she, this, that, and all. We are all universal family. Whatever the religion may be, whatever the race may be, whatever the nation may be, whatever the language may be, we are all human beings. We are all human family. Let us unite in the name of humanity. Let us unite for peace and prosperity. Let us unite for ourselves and for all. Let us unite for our Mother Earth and the universe. Unity makes us strong and peaceful. Unity brings us bliss and prosperity. If we unite, we can make miracles. If we unite, we can throw away poverty. If we unite, we can make the earth a heaven. If we unite, we can bring the Lord to the earth. Unity is our strength. Humanity is our life. That was written by a 14-year-old boy from Seattle. John, thank you, bro. He says he's passing the love buck back to me. The love of God enfolds me. The light of God surrounds me. The power of God protects me. That's somewhat what we're going to be talking about tonight. Just a quick glimpse of before, thanks to Robert Harrison. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. If God is omnipresent and I am here and God is, truthfully, there's nothing wrong with the world. There's nothing wrong. But it requires us to become unshakable. I don't mean that you don't flex or that you don't have reflex, that you will bend with new ideas and people and how things go. I mean you as the core are unshakable. And we can live in the human polarity, the human dynamic and frequencies, because that's the blessing of being human. And if you were born human, which you are because you're here, you're not there, you're here. You have been kissed by divine grace on your face. Always know that. How are you? You can either live in faith or fear. Can't do both. So pick. And if you're working on living in ongoing, never-ending faith, fantastic. So you're wobbling, and that's okay. But your vibration is graduating. Your vibration. This may sound strange to some who have a different faith or a different walk that first walk into this forum. Let me rephrase that. What do I mean by those who walk in a different faith and about vibration? It simply means, vibration means upping your love game. That's it. It simply means upping your game of love. That's what it is. Joey Eyes Killer, hi. Center of Light, Hocus Pocus. Suddenly, through the silence, the new world appears. Magically, Hocus Pocus. So tonight is about focus. And the band Crocus. Dana knows Crocus. Robert knows Crocus. Probably many of you. I want to know how you're doing. I'm going to post a group of links. Hello, Carolyn. And these links, they're all important. The top one, counseling/readings. Click that link. It'll take you immediately to a calendar. You could block out a 30-minute session with me. Boom, that easy. I am now starting this new program to where I'm going to reach out for those who wants to reach this way and need some ideas about someplace where they're stuck, someplace they're depressed or anxiety, living in whatever it may be, or you just simply want a guidance and a nudge into that. Check it out. All of these links. You can pre-order my book that's coming out July 31st, 2020, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. What you receive from me pretty much nightly is Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. Well, why, Keith, would I want to buy your book? It's a way you can contribute to the fountain of wealth, the wellspring, a wellspring that has been showering you with grace. There is no other reason. But if you like a good read, it will take you on a 30-plus year experience of how I have unfolded into something that is what I know is a beautiful possibility. Hello, Carol. Hello, Thomas Boudreau. So Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul will be released July 31st, 2020. It's like $17. I'm going to be calling on my share warriors soon. Again, before I go to a very small break, tonight, Center of Light. Hocus Pocus. Magic. Manifestation. Miracles. Serendipity. Alignments. Coincidences. What is a coincidence? It's two things that coincide. Coincidence. An alignment. The language beyond English. Do you know that language? Hello from Australia, Carol. Do you know the language? Have you familiarized yourself? Familiar, family, familiar, that which is close to you, in your circle, in your home, your house, which means your consciousness. Your home is your consciousness. Because no matter where you go, you are at home. Because wherever you go, you are. And wherever you go is God with you. There is no 5G tower that's trying to harm me. Believing otherwise lowers my vibration and affirms to me that that is a true statement. I understand respect like I do for a wall AC outlet. It has power. It gives me life. It gives me light. But I don't stick my finger in it. Same idea. Coronavirus, I'm done talking about it. I'm only using this as an example because it's present in this place out here. Let's not make it present in this place in here. You don't want to do that. So how? Hang around, because Center of Light is talking about focus. And hocus pocus, focus. Suddenly, out of the silence, be still and know that I am God. Suddenly, out of the silence, the new world appears. I want to share with you, because I love you beyond measure. You follow this model, this picture I'm going to paint tonight. We more so ensure ourselves a seat on the train. The window, as I've been saying, is open. What does that mean? God is ever present, more so that we can understand it, not that it has not been present before. In other words, God is present. What that means is time and space is depleting from your life. And as you think, as you're created in the image and similitude of your omnipresent parent, so you get. Now is the time you want to learn not only how to stay in focus, but if you can, if you've expanded your muscles to the level, if you've expanded your spiritual diaphragm, your spiritual biceps to the level, to where you not only focus, now you can be concerned and working on hyper focus, you are truly blessed. What you think, feel, and or do you get? I'm sorry, there is no other way. I'm not sorry. I've been sorry for a long time, and it's what taught me the greatest valuable lesson. If you believe in 5G, if you believe in coronavirus, I'm not saying they don't play their part in this experience we call human, and I respect it. So I play the game correctly. I follow the rules. There's an object to the game. We all read the rules of Monopoly before we all started, right? Nobody can cheat, so we can't cheat. You go when it's your turn to go. You get paid when it's your turn to get paid. Right now, everybody's in unemployment. Right? So that we're all in unemployment. Implore yourself to begin to learn how to focus. Again, I'm always about not efforting. You don't have to learn how to focus. Hocus pocus. Suddenly through the silence, the new world appears. You have to learn how to focus on that which is easy, that which is your natural self. And when in so doing, everything gets really easy really quickly. This is the moment where things can be very easy, very quickly, or this is the moment where things can be very tough for a very, very long time, and it will get harder for you to backstep and get to the train that is pretty much a mile down the track and pretty much picking up its infinite momentum. You don't want to do that. So what we have to do is focus. Hocus pocus. Suddenly through the silence, the new world appears. You are having it, believe it or not, it's easy right now. All you have to do is simply shift. I have seen many, many times over many, many years as a teacher. For example, there's no way you can deny this, and I'm sure, and if you have experienced this, and my awakened friends, and for those who have not, quote, take this in context, awaken to the level as to why you're here to learn, follow those who respond. Those who hear, when you immediately got on this kind of path, immediately miracles happen to you for at least 1 month. If this is a true statement, send me an exclamation point, all of you. Send me an exclamation point if this is a true statement. As soon as you found this path to empowering yourself as a child of light, a child of God, when you got that, oh my God, this feels like it's time, this is me, and you started reading those books, and you started going to sleep, and you started waking up the next day and realized some part of you has died, and there is no turning back. If that happened to you, that brings beautiful tears to my heart. Even if you are here from the future and this is a replay, everybody's now trying to outdo each other with exclamation points. I love it. I love it so much. I love it. Love it. Hello, Diane. Hello, Carolyn Renando. Carolyn Renando's hammering down on them exclamation points. So the reason I asked you that question is because I knew the answer you were going to give. So in asking the not needed question, we all joined in force. Yes, that did happen. Oh my God, that did happen. How did he know that? Well, I knew it the same way you did when you discovered, oh my God, this is my path and the part of me has died. That's how I know that you did that. Congratulations. So the reason people who discover this path, at first they get all of this. Ignacio says yes. When people become new on this path, they have an opening as to why you all gave me exclamation points. In other words, my life is calm as in a period, and it's a life sentence, and all of a sudden an exclamation point in your life happens, and it's like, whoa, I get it. So in that flood of realization comes a flood of manifestation. You have shifted hocus pocus to a new focus. This was my old life, and all of a sudden something transpires. You read Keith Anthony Blanchard's book. Shameless plug, and I love it. Whatever it may be, and all of a sudden, Link says like a light bulb. Robert says, yep. That happens. When that happens, you have shifted focus completely. I don't mean somewhat, it means completely. The divine will not yield unless it's your 100% priority. So when you were dying and someone threw you a spiritual nugget, you met someone that said a word and it changed, whatever the excuse is that shifted you, triggered you into soul, you have completely shifted, so much so you exclamation pointed yourself. Exclamation pointed myself. And the bells go off. So the reason people newly on this path have this is because they shifted. The reason it seems to be a little much further and fewer between as we go down the line is because the focus is on point at first. So we get the tines, the bell being rung like I just did, the bang of it. And as the sound wave decrescendos, we fall into this lull. Many of us are in this lull. Focus is what creates hocus pocus. Focus. And again, bang happens. You live in that grace for a little while, makes you hungry and thirsty. We have to find new ways to ask. That's tonight's presentation. Center of light, hocus pocus, focus. We're going to have to shift. Marilyn says, I have not... Was that Marilyn? No, that was Mary Jane. I have not read your book, friend. I'm trying to find the block button. No, I'm teasing. You are loved beyond measure, dear. I'm glad you're here. Robert says, Yanava, it has been so long, I think I left the light on. Motel 6, we'll leave the light on for you. So, hello, Joe. Oh, and by the way, everyone, please stop flooding my inbox. There's so many beautiful souls. Send me your heart only. Please don't send me the extraneous stuff. I love you, I love you, I love you. Things are getting busy, things are moving. Tonight is hocus pocus. We need to learn how to focus. When we learn how to focus, that's what I mean when I say, I understand the power of Corona. My Corona, ooh, you make me wanna rub. You wanna rub. I'm done. 5G, I live by a tower 500 foot from me. I could freak out. I understand conspiracy theory. I get it. I love playing that game. Not when it comes to the sovereignty, being conscious enough of myself to where I can ensure. Look, there's a lot of terrorism, if you will, in any shape, form, or fashion happening all around us. And as long as we blame other people, you're welcome, Dana. As long as we blame other people for our misery, we will never gain the power. And this time we're living in, it requires you to become powerful. F-U-L-L. Powerful. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me. It's going to require all of you to stay in the game. Karma is beginning to kiss all of us on the face. Okay? You might really want to consider this principle, this diagram I am laying out. You're going to have to focus. I'm going to have to focus. We're going to have to focus. Once this present dilemma is complete, exhausted, the earth is purging from a sickness. Regurgitating, if you will. Be willing to regurgitate. In fact, if you are drunk on the world, knowing that putting your finger down your throat will create some relief as you hang over the spiritual toilet and vomit out your guts, do it. Because it will help you focus on what's important versus continuing to be drunk and wobbly. Yeah, Robert, Corona Cabresa. What's happening in the world is not a coinkydink. Jeff Toberman, my brother. He says, B6 night. I will never forget. I told Jeff many years ago on YouTube, Jeff Toberman, take B6 before you go to bed. Don't do any more than 300 milligrams. Not because it'll hurt you, just because it's not necessary. Take two 100 milligrams of B6. When you go to bed that night, you will you become hyper aware in your sleep experience. So tonight we are talking about center of light, hocus pocus. Suddenly, through the silence, the new world appears. There's never nothing happening. There's never nothing happening. Also, I want to announce a sister friend of mine. Let me see if she's still here. John Wright's still here. Love you, John. Anna Yoga's still here. If you guys are interested in a really cool reading, Anna, please feel free to drop contact in this room about your spiritual reading work. John Wright, you want to drop your music in this room? Drop it in this room. Drop a link. Send me a link. I'll play it. People give me a website. People contact you. They want to buy you a 99-cent download or however it works, bro. Center of Light. We're all in this together. I'm going to play you some Lavender Soul. A song that has been very, very important to me lately. Not because it's Lavender Soul. The lyrics are amazing. I remember Bernard Dissect coming over to my house for a writing session. He and I did this once a week. And he said, Keith, I was walking in the woods with my dogs. He lives near a wooded area. And he loves the rain. And he always wears shorts and sandals no matter what the temperature is. And he's canopied by these trees, but he still gets some sprinkle. And the sound of the rain clattering on the leaves must just be ridiculously delicious. And he said, here's the song, and here's the key. I'll just sing it, and you find the keys. And he starts singing, this world apart from man in fear, there might be a better way to appear. So I started fashioning these chords around this beautiful melody. The lyrics are amazing. The lyrics are so on point. In fact, the lyrics are truly about divinely focusing. So let the love of God fall upon you. It's always been that way. It's forever. It's always here, omnipresence. So let the love of God fall upon you. It's always been that way. Time to celebrate. This is a time to celebrate versus freaking the fuck out. You're perfect in every way. So it's all about what we are focusing on. I don't mean, water the weed or water the plant, and the one you give attention to is the one that'll grow. That is true. But I'm not talking about just focus. I'm talking about focus. Focus. Here's a magnifying glass. And here is, what would you use back in the day? A light? Oh, the sun. Duh. Here's the magnifying glass. And here's the sun. Fire. Divine fire. And as kids, taking that magnifying glass in the sun, we could burn something from this world, for example, paper, into ash, into non-existence. From dust thou art. So we have the power to harness the sun and magnifying, hyper-focus to change an experience we would call paper. Likewise, spiritually, when we take the sun, the S-O-N, the Christ, which is the fire that lives in everyone, and we put it through our magnifying glass, our beingness, you change yourself. You change the world. You burn a new experience in this place for all. There's nothing else. There's nothing else you can do. This is the best ploy for your situation in the times we're living in. And it's going to require all of us to be on the top of that game. No blame, no shame. There is no game except the one that we are choosing to incite. That's it. We need to get down and do some focusing. So I'm going to play you this song by Lavender Soul. Listen to Bernard's passion when he sings. Listen to the woman answer back. Listen to the lyrics. Let it take you somewhere. In other words, don't just listen to the song. Focus. Hear where this song was written, recorded, and produced from. And you will feel the love of God fall upon you. It's always been that way. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchett Yanava. Going to be right back.
time to know what you are. So let the love of God, it's always been that way. It's time to celebrate what you are. Perfect in every way. So it's up to you, a choice to make, to promise yourself you'll celebrate. There's a time to trust, and a time to love, and a time to know who you are. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate who you are. Perfect in every So it's up to you, a plan to make, to promise yourself you'll celebrate. There's a time to love, and a time to trust, and a time to know you are loved. Time to know you are loved. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate what you are. It's time to celebrate who you are. It's time to celebrate that you are.
Welcome back to Center of Light on this. Oh my God, I don't know what night it is. I think we all have that issue. Let me try doing a little something over here with this page. Let's see what happens. It's going to refresh. There's my friends. Love it. Now I can see YouTubies. Hello, Sana. Hello, Carol, Robert, Carl Laparo. Tonight we're talking about Center of Light, Hocus Pocus. We got to get down and start doing some focus. I want to say thanks to John Wright. If John Wright is still here, in these videos I play by Lavender Soul, whenever I'm playing the guitar, the guitar or the guitar, depending on what slang you come from. In the hood they call it a guitar. In the country call it a guitar. Down here in the city folk, we call it a guitar. Either way, John, anytime you see me playing an instrument, John was the guy in the camera. Very knowledgeable. He has some good music. He's a phenomenal dude. Again, John, feel free to post your art, your creativity here. All of you. All of you. Tonight we're speaking about, hello Pat, Center of Light, Focus, Hocus Pocus. Suddenly out of the silence, the new world appears. Let's get down to some reading from the Divine Principle, my bestseller. I vesseled this in 1996. Can everyone hear the music against my voice as it needs to be? Yeah? Maybe two of you give me an exclamation point or a yes. Spirit Speaks in the Divine Principle, 1996. Remember, I say it a lot. I'll always repeat my themes deliberately. Focus. Theme is Hocus Pocus. Suddenly out of the silence, a new world appears. Spirit says, you are finally, this pertains to now. However you want it to apply to you, it does apply regardless. What's happening in the world. We're not going to talk about what's happening in the world anymore. I may use that title to bring up a point, but we're not going to talk about it from victim standpoint. We either can live in only faith or fear. We have to pick. Spirit says, you are finally beginning to see how everyone is of one body that branches into many seemingly separate bodies upon the physical plane. And I respond by saying, yes, I think I am starting to understand. Spirit continues, the more that you see this truth, Keith, the more this is really important. It requires all of you to stay on top of the game being incited by God. Listen to this. The more you can see this truth that everything is connected, God is omnipresent, the more your tendency to judge anything will diminish because you will understand that everything is you. John, thank you for posting your beautiful stuff, bro. Always. Everyone stomp on John's page. When you cast judgment about anything, and not only people think that casting a judgment means I'm judging someone. Calling a tree, when you're walking in the forest, a tree is sort of a judgment. Instead of looking at the infinite beauty and not giving it a label, we begin the separation process. Tree, frog, turtle, flower, water pond, mountain, rock, this, that. The more you can see this truth, the more your tendency to judge anything will diminish because you will understand that everything is you. When you cast judgment, not only do you bring about division from others in other things, you deepen the conscious breach between yourself and the one cosmic body. When you judge, love begins to decay and fear begins to expand. You can choose faith or fear. Pick. Now, even though I describe separation as a truth, in and of itself, in truth, it is not real. Me, a virus. Me, 5G. Me, 5G, and the virus have a relationship. That's a judgment. That's separation from you being the power center. Things may have power. Things of the world may have power, but they don't have magic. You have the magic. Here's an exercise for you. Everyone, look at your hand. Just look at your hand. Look at your hand. Do you see it as a hand with separate fingers? And I say yes. Because of those empty spaces you see between them, Keith, you think that one finger has no connection to the others. This is but a perception of separation caused by your lack of focus. Focus is the key word. Tonight's presentation is focus. Because you lack of focus on the entire hand in the first place. Your hand represents the place where all things connect and originate, God. The simple lesson should lift your awareness beyond the deception. Do you understand it? Spirit continues, I will tell you this. You have gotten and are getting exactly what you have intended. With whatever degree of clarity you have had, you have intended. Even if someone does not make a choice, still a choice is made. The choice to remain complacent. Thus do the patterns of sameness evolve by one's unaware intentions. For those who accept and apply the wisdom of this simple truth, especially right now, focus. Life will get easier and more fulfilling. For those who do not, trouble will remain. Either way, everyone will go on creating, and either way, you will all get what you want. And I say, well, then what I want is enlightenment. And Spirit says, if you truly wish to bring perpetual love into your daily life, becoming pure is imperative. Only then can Spirit lift you higher in vibration, beyond the nonsense that will continue to happen all around us. Trust me when I tell you. Once this virus goes away, another problem is going to say, I'm ready for you to complete with me now since you haven't before. If you wish to bring perpetual love into your daily life, becoming pure is imperative. Only then can Spirit lift you higher so that the dive from the ego into its arms will be a graceful one. Once your clarification becoming clear and elevation begin to accelerate, people will recognize that you are living with more joy. That will be your confirmation of the work you have been doing on yourself. And I say, boy, I can't wait for that day to get here. And here we sit. And Spirit says, this was 96 and now we're in 2020. Do not be in such a hurry, Keith. Where you are now is a normal part of the process. The goal is not the goal. There's never nothing happening. The goal is not the goal. The journey is. If you focus, hocus pocus, if you focus on the future, you will lose the power in the present moment. Now that I have given you a glimpse, let us get back to the reality of the present. As you work on becoming more aware of your light body, Spirit will stir dramatically and will let you know where you need to put more focus. And this is where we are. And during such shifts, you will definitely begin to feel the heaviness of the world, the heaviness of your body, and the lightness of your spirit. We're starting to learn something, y'all, by being quarantined. People are coming out of their shell, being in a shell. People are coming alive out of being zombie dead by being forced to stay in their house. They're shouting out into the streets from balconies in Italy, playing music. People are being silly, always wearing their pajamas, which means I'm not taking the world so seriously anymore. All this beautiful stuff is starting to happen. And so, during such shifts, you will immediately begin to feel the heaviness of the world, or the heaviness of your body, and the lightness of your spirit, depending on which way your shift scale has you tilting. Faith or fear. Spirit continues in this final paragraph. Hello, Darlene. Hello, Karma de Shasha. Carol says, I choose faith, so I choose focus. Oh my God, dear. Make that a meme and tag me in it. I choose faith, so I choose focus. That was vesseled. That was realized. That's gorgeous. Thank you. Robert says, close a hand and it becomes a fist. Final paragraph that I'm going to read tonight from my bestseller, The Divine Principle. There's a link in this forum, which I am going to drop now, to everything that keeps Center Light focused and afloat. The top link is to a 30-minute session with me. Other links are to my books, the new one coming out soon. I could use your support. June says, word, I got to look on YouTube. Hang on. Word for the day, nonsense. You know, June, thank you. And I'm going to defend myself. No, I'm not. I'm going to explain to those who, well, Keith does use the word nonsense, and very powerfully, often, because I love it. There's a power in calling something for what it is. A spade is a spade. A rabbit is a rabbit. And this is nonsense. Nonsense means no matter how you slice that pie, it's gone bad. It's gone bad. It's rotten. It's been left out. There's mold on it. But we like pie, so we're going to try to salvage something that has become rotten. It's rotten. It's nonsense. It goes nowhere. In fact, if we try to ingest it, it will cause food poisoning, sustenance poisoning, and then we go into these pangs, these belly pangs, this digestive tract issue, because we can no longer taste, or enjoy the nonsense. That is truly where we are. From the divine principle, I speak now to all my children. This applies to Peter Coyle. What a delicious, beautiful man he is. This is now. Listen to this. Take it in as if it's a wisdom nugget that says, God wants to kiss you on your face. To validate Keith, but to you, and all of you together makes another component as you all move up together. This beautiful idea. I speak now to all my children. What you must understand before you can fulfill your passions is the difference between wants and desires. I know this may sound contradictory, but it is not. Because wants are having to have energies and desires are, God, you are my peace, and if it is your will, this would be nice energies. Big difference. When you believe the former will bring you peace rather than God, who is peace itself, you negate any chance that your desires will be fulfilled. When you choose God as the primary force and focus in your life, all things move toward you, not only because of the magnetic light you radiate, but because within God, all things exist. As soon as you allow me, God, to take up a full-time residence in both your mind and your heart, you will flourish. So it gives us the power and the opportunity to begin the work that is going. I'm telling you, it requires all of us. Don't be late for this train. In fact, it's already moving out of the station. It's no longer stationary. On the contrary, it's picking up speed. We have to get right. We have to do it now. So the train picks up momentum. The world is moving at a pace. In fact, it's beginning to race. And it requires us to understand that we need to focus, hyper-focus on that which is truly important. Being of service to other people will elevate your vibration. Doing more of what you love. In fact, we're actually all being forced to do more of what we love. What else can we do? We're quarantined. And in our isolation, strangely, we're becoming free. How is that even possible? How can being isolated and constricted and bound and restricted and afflicted create such a level of freedom? Because God is not the this nor the that. God is the realization that how can, in this paradox, I find infinite freedom in such isolation? That's the magic of you, not the power of what's happening in the world. There's a lot of power happening in the world. Erroneous power. Coronavirus is powerful. Electricity is powerful. Lightning is powerful. This is powerful. A car, driving an automobile, is powerful. Unconscious behavior can only bring trouble. Unconscious behavior experience in this moment spiritually, being or not being aware of what's truly happening in this world will only bring trouble. And it requires you to focus, to have any sort of hocus pocus show up in your experience. Coronavirus, I get it. Please don't send me any more. I get it. So I alcohol my hands and I wash my hands and I play the game. I don't wear a mask. I'm not saying you don't have to or you shouldn't. I don't wear a mask. I'm absolving myself of my sins. Slowly but surely, I understand Corona. That is not where I live. I live here. I live here. this beautiful being right here. Jesus, God, Buddha, Krishna, a delicious sandwich, whatever that's important to me, that makes me feel joyful and blissful, which is evidence of the presence of God. That's where I'm at. So I'm no longer, as much as I love conspiracy theory, there is no longer a 5G tower 500 feet behind me. Though there isn't. In fact, if there is, I'm going to entertain it as power support so I can continue to do the higher work. I'm done being afraid. There is, what did I say today? A post I made, it says, that's a wrap. I am no longer taking auditions for actors to play out roles of a virus or 5G. Good luck with your auditions. I'm done with that role. I'm done. I understand it. I know enough to do my investigatory, my investigation work, to see where I'm in this redonkulous, nonsensical dance that's happening in the world. Because I respect it. I respect the electricity that comes out of my wall. But I don't touch it with wet clothes on. I just don't do that. But my faith, my allegiance, my agency is elsewhere. Peter Carlos says, good morning, Keith, from the land of Ireland. The land of Scala, namaste, loving life. Good for you, bro. There's an example. Let's see what's happening one more time on YouTube. Rena made, oh my God, y'all, Rena made the shift. So now that Rena made the shift from Facebook to YouTube, nothing against Facebook. Facebook blesses me. But for Rena, that she made the shift, remember when I said, when we shift, when we focus on something new, something new happens, Rena, expect an out of normalcy synchronization miracle happen for you. That's what I got for you. Yeah. Rena says, and she says, I'm loving isolation. Yes, freedom for sure. How can in isolation we experience freedom? That's the question. We don't have to explain it. It doesn't require an explanation, because as soon as you try to explain it, we begin to contain it, and we refrain it from being whatever that fire is trying to become. It's trying to become a bonfire, a spiritual, in a good way, spiritual conflagration. It wants to consume, so let it consume. So now you're no longer in the throat of the whale or the devil or whatever the analogy may be. I am taking questions, comments. Always feel free. What else do you have? You have freedom. Absolute freedom. Focusing. This is the lens of my mind. It's the lens of my eyes. It's the lens of my ears. It's the lens of my tongue. It's the lens of my heart. It's simply the lens. And until we recognize that that's truly what we are, we will see the lens. Swampy. We will see the lens, and we will see ourselves as the over here-ness, saying, this is what I am, but I am going to aspire to becoming that. That's the dance. And that's called humility, in fact. And in fact, practice humility with a focus, and hocus pocus, suddenly out of the silence a new word appears. You will find yourself moving ever towards the clarity. How do you know? Because you're becoming more clear, when before you know that you have not been. Until the day you become unified. Everything's backwards, so give me a moment. Isn't that gorgeous? A gorgeous analogy. But that is truly what's happening. The light is beginning to push. And the dark that lives in everyone, fears, insecurities, jealousies, blame, shame, unawareness, ignorance, it will begin to be pushed out into the world in ways that we can no longer control it. So we have to learn how to control ourselves in a manner of focus. So what does that mean? I understand, again, the power in the world. as long as it takes precedence, protocol, whatever the other words are about such situations. It will take that. It will take priority in your life. What I do, what I suggest many people do. Hello, Rena Wartella. I think she has something to say, so I'm going to pause on what I have to say. My brother Peter Carl says, a great man once told me, once you understand the book of life, then you understand your soul, and then you understand your heart, and God is with it. And God is God, is in the mystery, I guess. Namaste. Rena Wartella says, it's time to get right with the Lord. Scary times. Rena, I love your sentiment. May I expound upon it? Is definitely get right with the Lord. But the Lord is not something that means get right with the Lord up there that's going to save me, if I may. That will save no one. Get right with God that is in me. I am in my Father is in me, and I am in you. So it's about getting right with ourselves. Until we ever understand who we are, the small, and getting right with that, how can we ever understand the majesty of getting right with something greater than we possibly know as ourselves? So it makes us responsible to carry out that very thing you were saying. I love what you had to offer. That's amazing. And so I no longer see this as a scary time. I see this as a beautiful time of infinite possibility. The scary is for those who choose fear. For those who choose faith, they are called the meek. I am one of those who will forever seek to find that glorious, delicious sandwich. But I love you being here. Let me go see if Rena Wartella, are Facebook friends. No, we're not, but we are now. And Rena, I'm warning you, I'm forever going to stalk you. I'm teasing. Welcome to the tribe, Rena. Everyone say hi to Rena Wartella. Lincoln says we punish ourselves because we think that's what God wants. What a phenomenal, profound statement. Facebook friends, no, we're not, but we are now. We can never separate how we treat the world from how we think God treats us. Try it. Get back to me if you're successful. I will spend my whole paycheck on that bet. You can never separate how you treat the world and yourself from how we think God treats us. Carol says, hi, Rena. Thank you, Carol, for your warm, loving welcoming to her. We can never separate ourselves from how we think God treats us, but from the way we treat ourselves in the world around us. Those who believe in a punishing God believes that we should punish the accused. There is no way out of that. Those who believe in a God that would punish themselves believes that people around them should be punished. Those who believe in their poverty believes that God does not provide. You can never escape this experience. In fact, even more so, hello Dwayne Duga. In fact, even more so, those who believe that people should be punished believe in a punishing God. Those who believe that God does not provide believe in not giving. This dynamic is the experience everyone is having in this moment. As above, so below, on forever it will go. So, Center of Light tonight is about Hocus Pocus. Suddenly, through the silence, the new world appears. What does that mean? That means I'm going to change the music. And I'm going to induce this beautiful idea. Check it out. Notice, via this music, I intentionally shifted your focus from this ongoing drone. Feel this. Focus on what I am offering you. And then hocus pocus, through this silent space, that new world will appear. I took your mind from the ongoing drone of those drums to something a little more ambient, India, space, spatial, spaceful. Your whole reality changed just now, didn't it? If your whole reality just in this moment changed when I changed the music, send me an exclamation point. You have focused on something different entirely. I was the influence. I convinced you to do so. Either way, whether you were conscious when music changes or people change, experience changes, you're no longer working because of corona. Our mind simply shifts this way. Kelly says, yes, you're correct, Keith. So Claudia says, yes, it happens. So when we focus, when things begin to shift, as I said, tonight's presentation quote is, become unshakable. The world is forever going to sing and dance love song or the blues. Old shoes or news, shoes, news, blues, love song, all this wonderful diagrams that I can continue to paint. It doesn't matter. Being unshakable means I am going to tilt as the world tilts. That makes you human. But what makes you truly divine is that you take action, va, and no longer allowing reaction to take over your na. Because you're living in your ya. I'm in my ya. My na may sway, but I have the gift of reasoning, balance, and discernment. I am intelligent. Intelligent. And my va stands up erect. You can choose faith or fear. Pick. Feel that? That's presence. That's focus. Find music like this and let it take you deep into your soul. And you will find this hocus pocus about yourself. Carol says, exclamation point. Hello, Tamara. Center of light, hocus pocus. Suddenly through the silence, the new world appears. Focus. Dear Lord, it's going to require you to focus. I'm not saying ignore the power of what's happening in the world. Electricity is powerful, so you don't put your finger in it, but electricity also gives you light, and it also gives you life, because it gives you cool air in the summer and heat and warmth in the winter. So it is integral and purposeful, and it has a power in your experience. Everyone on YouTube is saying, yes, Keith, exclamation points, faith, 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 faith. So I'm offering this to you. Use this to whatever degree you feel comfortable, because truthfully, I'm working on it myself. There is no coronavirus. Wash your hands anyway. There is no 5G. Be smart anyway. Nothing is trying to hurt you. I'll prove it to you. Because when I read you this, you go, well, Keith, that's just some fanciful words. No. Something in these words will change you and shift you. Even if you are atheist, you understand in your non-God belief that there is a something that is more powerful than my mere 75 God, if I'm lucky, existence on this flat earth, a ball of rock, depending on whatever you believe, is happening. So, I'm asking simply, is there a virus? Yes, there is. But is there a virus? And is there 5G? And is any of this trying to harm me? I don't know. Let me read this to you. It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer it. But the faith is the key to this passage. Listen to this. I love it so much. If God is omnipresent, there's nothing excluded. The love of God enfolds me. I'm trying to trigger you is what I'm trying to do. The love of God enfolds me. The light of God surrounds me. The power of God protects me. And the presence of God watches over me wherever I am. God is. The question I come back for myself, to be honest with you, that I keep playing with for the last recent past, hello Courtney, is there a coronavirus? Is there people trying to hurt me? Is there 5G trying to hurt me? And on top of that freaking nonsense, is coronavirus and 5G married together as why all of this is trying to hurt me? I keep coming back to that. And the resounding answer I get is, if you want it to be. This is where we are sitting on this stick of dynamite. So the choice and the voice that is speaking to us from here, but yet from in here, it's time to get on the faith train. I have to have faith, faith, faith. I gotta have faith. This is the meek. This is the children of light. It can be tough, and you're rough and you're gruff and all that stuff. The only way you're going to become buff is to soften yourself. Is this really happening? As Keith is saying and other people are saying, and what my even unconscious is saying, and I'm telling you, yep. We never thought it would come down / up to this. Yep. We never thought this would happen in our lifetime. Maybe in my exit years, but this is going to happen not to the baby boomers or to the, what's the next one? Baby boomers, the whatevers, and then the millennials. Oh, the Generation X. Millennials. Now it's time to make way and pave the way for the infinials. Infinials. It's a new word. I'm coining it. Spread it everywhere. The infinials or the infinitials. I say the infinials. And they're going to stick around for a centennial, for 100 years. And they're going to help make sure the anchor of light has been grounded in the earth. It's here. It's here. The whole thing is opening up. And it's going to require your steadfast focus for any amount of hocus pocus to happen. When the divine becomes your number one priority, then you will get what you want. When the divine becomes your number one priority, you will get what you want. When the divine becomes your number one priority, you will all get what you want. We're all being tested. Stay inside, play the game fairly. So what we need now is a divine lover. And humbling ourselves will take us to that place. Enjoy this Lavender Soul song. And I want to acknowledge June. She's been a large part of my creative life, developing spiritual covers for books, album covers, and advertisements. She's always been a large part of my life for a long time. And I love me some Junebug. John Wright has been very helpful. Kelly Curtis. She is, without doubt, always posting my work. Robert, just anyone. I love you all. I'm going to be right back. About some, let's see. This is a good time to ask this question. I wrote this song many years ago, sitting around a keyboard where I can only pad. I couldn't really play it. And I heard E minor between E minor root, D and C, and it moves. And this very theatrical type of song. And it's called What Am I Looking For? I guess it requires focus, doesn't it? Hocus Pocus. What am I looking for? The baby you hear cry halfway through is my son. He was 6 months old. I turned on my software and recorded in. I didn't manipulate the track. I just cut it out, and it literally fits in the time. No time signature. I will see you shortly. Keith Anthony Blanchard. Yanaba. I'm looking for the tune, so I'm making up dialogue so I can find the tune. Where is
What am I looking for? A golden key to a golden door. What's behind it that I need more than what I have? I'm just not sure. What am I searching for? The mothership to a distant shore. Could this journey make me more of who I am? I'm just not sure.
Where do you go to find the answers? There is a place you haven't tried. Your search for love has taken chances. Have you ever thought to look inside?
What am I hoping for? A better world, is there a cure? What can I do to help the score? I'm at a loss, I'm just not sure. What am I praying for? To see the light around the world and the people's love restored. Peace on earth, of this I'm sure.
Where do you go to find your answers? There is a place you haven't tried. Your search for love is taking chances. Have you ever thought to look inside? Have you ever thought to look inside? You hold the key to find your answers. I am the door you have not tried. Never again taking chances. Open your heart and walk inside. Walk inside.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight we are talking about, let me put my music on. What's it? That's what I'll put this music back on here. Right here. Yeah. Welcome back to Center of Light. I want to acknowledge a couple of points here. One is from my brother, Peter Coyle. He actually supports in his comment what I am trying to deliver tonight. 5G. Let's pick on 5G for right now. It could be a virus, it could be 5G, it could be a war, it could be a this, it could be a that. But right now, let's pick the scab, the wound of 5G. He says 5G is a figment, keyword. That's the focus. We're focused on the figment, or are we? 5G is a figment of the world's imagination. Once we believe in ourselves, it's done. During this commercial break, what hit me, being an artist, John Kelly, who creates beads and fashions jewelry, or whoever you may be that's a creator in some capacity. It's like you're doing your thing, and all of a sudden you're trying to figure out this thing, and what can I do in this movement? I need to twist this wire this way. John may say, do I need a B minor, E minor? And out of nowhere, after contemplating for a moment, something says, just go to this key. That inspiration is what's called a shift. So your focus went from a certain place to a new place. And in that focus comes inspiration. And in this break I just took, what came to me is, I want you to, on purpose, call up the nonsense that's happening in the world. So call it up. Just call it up. You don't have to play in the arena, but just call it up as what we have been, quote, living in unconsciously. So I'm now going to offer you a conscious plan. Life is beautiful. Never lose sight. Basically, that life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. Never lose sight. Focus. Yeah, but you're not focusing, and therefore you have missed it. But you don't understand you are not focusing, and you have missed it. But you have missed it. I don't write the rules. It applies to me as well. There is no more time. Judge Judy, there is no more time. Life is beautiful. Period. End of story. There's never nothing happening. But right now, we are so hyperfixed and hyperfocused on what we think is happening, and that's the reality. But the reality is to follow the principality of it all to a higher strata. That's the law. The law is it requires all of us to not lose sight of what is the truth. So what is the truth? The truth is that life is beautiful. When any aspect of life starts to complain, that aspect of life has lost sight. And then from there, the dominoes begin to tumble. Hello, Abigail. Hello, Sona. Center of light tonight. Hocus Pocus. For magic to happen, it requires a new focus from an old way of being. Even if your way of being is awesome, and life is good and great and grandiose and powerful, love it. But when nothing begins to happen, it's time to focus. Time to redirect. Time to expand. Spirit is always expanding. In fact, the only thing that will never change is change itself. That being said, I'm going to go inside and go into a vessel. I want to do this. Why? I don't know. I'm just going to do it. The reason I do this is because these letters down here you can't see because I have a multicolored shirt on. YNV, Ya, Na, Va. It's sacred seed syllables of the soul. This is older than time. In fact, it's you being stamped into existence from non-existence, from spirit, the absolute source, non-existence. When you're in spirit, you don't exist. You do exist, but you don't. Because the you that you know as you does not exist. You with the eternal God fire. So the you that you know does not exist. But Yana Va is the seal, the John Doe of it all, the Jill Doe of it all. So you decide that you want to leave the source of all creation and to become a person or a something, an individual. And this happens. And so it is, and so it shall be done. You, my friend, are a fortunate one. And it resounds forever, just like you will, and you do. So we're all beginning to resound. The tines of the soul, the tuning fork of the soul, it's vibrating, and it is seeking balance. The soul is balanced, but is seeking the cyclical, I know you, you know me, and the we of it all expands to another level, and expands to another level, and expands to another level. We all do this consciously or unconsciously. There is no more time to be unconscious. So that being said, I want to show you these sacred seed syllables. They look like this. It will, whether you know it or not, it will bring up within you ancient memories, ancient seeds for planting. Ya, the heart, the zero, God, circular, divinity. Na, the mind, which is the linear way the mind works, but when imbalanced and discernment and proper understanding, it becomes usable versus being a slave. And the Va, the upright, is the backbone. Yanava. Falling inside. So the vessel has stated just a bit ago, the tables have tilted. You are winning the game, if you will. Because you have willed something differently that you have not before. All of the nonsense, as Keith likes to say, has started. You have sharded your pants too much. There is more required of you. desired of you. For you to have what you truly desire is to not live in the constraints or the worry or the non-peace of what's happening around you. Do you understand? Well, of course, everyone wants that, do you not? Of course you do. Here's what we got for you. Challenging may be, if only you will see. In this chaotic movement, understand that there is order working on your behalf versus an aftermath of a something trying to harm you. You have to basically, if you will, on a human level that you understand, drill this into your hard head. Fall into the soft bed of the Spirit. Hear it. Whether you understand this vessel or not does not change the game for you. I'm worried about a virus. I'm worried about 5G. I'm worried about war. The point is, the oversoul of what you are literally conspiracy theory conspiring to is warring with yourself. There is nothing else. It's an ongoing addiction to being in warrior mode. I have to defend myself from that which is trying to offend me. That world is dead. Do you want to die with that world? No, you don't. So now you're choosing to be something different. Something different can only happen when you choose to become something different yourself. How do I let go and trust that in all that's happening around me is not going to harm me? What a fantastic question. When you're alone tonight, naked, if you will, ask yourself that question again. And I promise you, the answer will resound within. But will you do it? Will you tap into the larger self that so wants to expose itself to what you call you, which is actually you in the first place? But do you want to come in second or last or not run the heap in the first place? Sounds tough. It is not. What do you want? You will get what you're asking for, consciously or not. There is no other way. That's what's happening. Are you happy in the happening? Do you trust that you can go outside without your mask on? Mask? Would Spirit ask? Without your mask on? Without your mask? Your facade? Just thinking that you need that to breathe, to be safe, when the breath that you take every moment is the breath of God? What are you missing? What are you dissing becomes the question. If every breath that you pull into your experience is the reality and the principality of God itself, how could you ever be in trouble or be diseased or diseased, if you will? Every breath you take is the breath of God. As to why it gives you life. Did someone say virus? Don't be stupid. You are on the earth. Play the game and don't cheat. This applies on levels that you don't understand. So play the game, and for right now at hand, you will understand and assure for yourself the greatest possibility. Greatest possibility. It doesn't mean if you don't do this, you're going to die. That's part of the nonsense. The worry is part of the nonsense. If I don't do something, it's part of the nonsense. And you lower your resistance. Ironically, you don't want to resist, but it will lower your resistance. Ironically, strange, isn't it? Exactly. It now requires all of you to meditate upon the enigma of God and what you think to be divine. Don't get left behind. This is a 26 plus ish, give or take, 1,000-year window open for you. And we are hoping for you. Who are we? We are all that which surrounds you that loves you beyond measure. It's our greatest pleasure to be in the treasure trove of this groove and grove as the tribe Yanava. You are loved beyond measure. There's nothing wrong. Part of the disease and the illness we know as Rona, 5G, war, all that stuff. We understand how it moves our heart, as it should. But is it for the greater good? What could we do that stops the fucking nonsense? And what you do is realize that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. And when you realize it fully and sincerely, passionately, humbly, and vulnerably, the stargate that all the masters have spoken about opens. There is no virus. Be respectful. There is no virus. There is no 5G. In fact, if there is a 5G, it's part of the omnipresence of God. It says, I am not here to harm you. I am here for you to use the force, Luke. It's all around you. To harness it. Because in the grand scheme of things, all there is God. The truth of it all is there is no absolute truth except that you exist. Like Peter Coyle said, being a part of 5G is part of an old paradigm that is beckoning and begging to not end. And I'm asking you to let it die. Just simply let it die. You are protected. And strangely, in this quarantine, people are becoming liberated. You are loved beyond measure. Center of light, Hocus Pocus. Suddenly through the silence, the new world appears. Shh. And the fog begins to clear. What a blessing to be alive. Peace, love, and wash your hands and scrub your soul. From the new age to the days of old.